Today's adventure in Borneo is brought to you by Squarespace. Over the next 3 days, I'll be on a roller coaster ride through the beautiful area of Kinabatangan Wildlife Sanctuary here in eastern Borneo.
He's a funny little looking fella, isn't he?
I'll be staying in a lovely resort, which I'll show you in a second, and we'll be going on river cruises and jungle walks in search of some of the most iconic and elusive animals in the entire world. Our last chance to see the big three, the big crocodiles, the pygmy elephants, God please, and of course, elusive orangutang, and completely unique species of monkeys and birds that only live here on the island of Borneo. And if you're like me and you're enthusiastic about wildlife and nature, this is going to be an incredible journey and something I'll never forget. It's so much fun. The jungles of Borneo at night. So buckle in and get your adventure hat on, because we're about to begin our first river cruise. I got picked up in the city of Sandakan and got on a little bus. Took about 2 hours driving through the endless palm oil fields to get to the edge of the river in the edge of the rainforest. And I checked in, and so before we go on the first cruise, let me quickly show you around the room. Welcome. So this is going to be a fun experience and something that I was very looking forward to doing here in Borneo. I don't have very long to settle in because we're about to go on a very busy couple of days, starting off with an afternoon cruise down the river, and then we'll also be doing a few jungle treks, having delicious food and just enjoying the slow pace of life here in the Borneo rainforest. You know, there's no signal, there's no Wi-Fi, it's just you, your thoughts, and the gorgeous wilderness, and God knows what we're going to see. I'm really got my fingers and toes crossed, and there are lots of species that we could potentially see, and I've got to run and get a coffee and something to eat because I'm starving, and we're going to go on our first afternoon cruise. Yeah, what a feeling to be on our first river cruise. We were going to do about 4 or 5 on this trip, and I'm not going to document every single one because sometimes we saw a lot and sometimes we didn't see very much at all. But that's part of the fun here on the river. We were so lucky to have absolutely beautiful weather. And it wasn't very long until we had our first incredible encounter. These are proboscis monkeys, one of Borneo's big 5, and a very unique animal indeed. We saw about 3 or 4 different species of monkeys, and you'll be sure to see lots of monkeys on your trip here because they feed on the fig trees that grow right on the water's edge. Each tour lasted around 2 to 3 hours, up and down the river, cruising along, enjoying beautiful weather, the incredible scenes, and stopping every 10 or 15 minutes whenever we saw a group of proboscis monkeys, hornbills, or just something really unique and special to this area of the world. And we got lucky because our guide found a crocodile. He pointed his laser beam and we were able to quickly observe him before he ducked under and disappeared for the rest of the day. Overall, our first cruise was really fun, very productive, and we got to tick off a few of the big 5, and everyone was getting to know each other, and it was really setting up to be a great few days indeed. And watching the sunset on the way home, just a magical experience. What a great start.
So my name is Aloy, so I'm your guide for the spend time here 3 days 2 nights. They actually tonight you do the night walk, so everybody good food, yeah.
These night walks are optional extras, but I really recommend that you try them out. It's so much fun in the jungles of Borneo at night. You'll see sleeping birds, resting tree frogs, and lots of creepy crawlies, and you'll get attacked by mosquitoes the entire time. So just make sure you bring lots of bug spray and some layers to cover your skin, like a long-sleeved shirt or some trousers. You'll get wellies, it will be muddy, but what an incredible experience and very unique. And so definitely at least one night try the night walk. I did 2 nights in a row and I loved every second of it. It's tiny.
It's very tiny.
How did you see that? Is he asleep?
They sleep, yeah. 9 type kingfisher, yeah. 9 type. But the biggest one they call stop-bill kingfisher, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Bright and early. Excuse my appearance, but you know, this is how I look at 5:30 in the morning. As much fun as yesterday was, and the evening cruise and the nighttime walk, this is what I think, fingers crossed, will be the best part. The morning cruises. We'll do one today and one tomorrow. But apparently the animals are just more active first thing in the morning. They're more hungry, more thirsty, and there's more action along the riverbanks. Everyone's getting on the boats. I've missed coffee because I was a bit late. So let's get cracking. Really quick, I'm sure a lot of you have a side hustle or a small business on the side, and you might have social media linked to that little business. Maybe it's a Facebook page, maybe Instagram, you might even have a YouTube channel. But if you really want to take your small business to the next level and start making some meaningful sales and to give yourself a professional presence online, but maybe you don't know anything about web design, don't worry, this is where Squarespace come in. I use them for my own website. Such an incredible platform. You simply choose one of their templates and then amend the text, add your pictures, add your videos, and start selling your products, start selling your services, and just give yourself, a professional presence online. You can head to Squarespace for free and create your website, and it enables you to be super creative. And if you don't know what to do and you get a little bit lost, then just head to Squarespace's Help Center, where there are guides and videos to help you through the process of building the website by yourself. Start playing around completely for free, and when you're ready to go live, head to squarespace.com/Paddy Doyle and you'll get 10% off your first domain. Hiya. Oh, there's actually a leg room today. Yeah, it's a bit lazy. Everyone's kind of half asleep because it's so early. But you get a nice cup of hot coffee from the restaurant, and you can take it on the boat and just, enjoy being on the river and have your fingers crossed that you're going to see something beautiful. Because as I mentioned, and the guides told us, that the animals are way more active first thing in the morning. And so our best chance to see the pygmy elephants and the orangutans is in the mornings. What the hell is this guy doing on the boat? Just cruising along during sunrise. I mean, regardless if you see a bird or an elephant or whatever, it's just such a beautiful experience, regardless. But it wasn't long before we saw our first grazing proboscis monkeys. And unfortunately, no spoilers, but we didn't see any elephants on this trip or on this morning cruise, or the next morning cruise either, at that matter. So unfortunately, it was a lovely morning cruise, but we didn't see much. We came back and had delicious breakfast, and it was time for the next activity. Okay, so the tour continues. It's amazing what you can get done before 9 o'clock, because now, after that morning cruise on the river, and after a nice hearty breakfast, some coffee, and a little bit of a break, it's already time for the morning jungle hike. Now everyone's ahead of me. I'm just taking my time and just enjoying the walk. there's a possibility that we see all different types of monkeys, lots of bugs, but also sometimes the pygmy elephants come through here. We saw the dung last night, so that would be really nice. This morning we didn't see orangutans, but another boat did, and people at our hotel who went on a different boat, so we were really unfortunate. So we saw some images this morning on our guest's friend's phone, so that was a shame. But we had fun, and it was a nice relaxing cruise. As an optional extra, a few people in the group have opted to do some tree planting, and they give you a sprouting baby tree, and then they find a little spot in a clearing where they're trying to rejuvenate some growth, and then you can, I think for like $7 extra, you can plant your own tree. It's nice that we have a lot of time on the river or in the jungle. And today, after lunch, we have 3 hours to just take a nap, because it's an early start this morning. And it gets hot in the jungle here. All the animals go to sleep as well. Early morning, late afternoon, that's the best time to see them. Okay, afternoon cruise number 2, and the wind's up. There's bad weather all around us. I highly doubt we're going to stay dry, but we are bringing some beers with us because it's one of the guys' birthday today. So we're hoping that not only for his birthday will we have good weather and a nice sunset, but maybe that we'll see some animals this time, big ones. Elephant, orangutan.
I want to introduce myself. So my name is Aslan. Will become your guide for your boat cruise today. So make sure all of you sit properly, don't move a lot, and this is jungle time. Let's go.
Yeah, this second afternoon boat cruise was awesome, because not only did we see lots of beautiful animals that were very active, but we had the hindsight of bringing some cold beers. And yeah, we just took it all in, and honestly, with a few cans in your bag and the river to admire and to be around, and with your guide pointing you in the direction of beautiful animals, yeah, a great way to spend your afternoon. I did go on one extra night walk, and I did obviously the next morning boat cruise as well, and another jungle trek, and so I was very active and I filmed a bunch, but I don't need to make this video any longer than it needs to be, because I just didn't see the pygmy elephants or the orangutans, sadly. But I do want to give you some concluding thoughts back at the hotel before I get on my bike and continue the journey. So I think this part's important, so please stay with me, and I hope you enjoyed the video so far. Okay, our time in the jungle is finished, and I've got a very short amount of time to pack up and get on the bus and head back to town and reunite with Brittany, my crappy little motorbike, and continue my motorbike tour of Northern Borneo. So I'm going to give you some conclusions about this past 3 days really quickly. So let's begin with the pros. For me, my favorite thing about this experience was, in equal measures, hanging out by the river and being in the jungle and going on the boat cruises and just being immersed with the incredible rainforest here in Borneo. And the second one was making friends from England, from Liverpool, from Wales, and other travelers. And so whether we were on the boats or whether we were hanging out and having breakfast and lunch and dinner together or having beers in the evening, just getting to meet new people is always such a pleasure for me. Traveling solo, I do get quite lonely sometimes. So being in the jungle and being on the river and making friends was the two best parts of this trip for me. The second one was the resort. The resort was excellent. Not only was the little wooden cabins by the little lake really comfortable, and the aircon was really nice in this really humid, hot forest, and good night's sleep, even though early starts. Great food, great staff, cold beers in the fridge, and a beautiful scenic location right on the banks of the river. Watching the bugs and the birds and the frogs and all the monitor lizards and things that we saw crawling under the huts. Very cool. I also really liked the night walks. It was difficult to film them, and it was just such a cool, fun experience walking through the rainforest and seeing all the bugs and frogs and creepy crawlies and sleeping birds. It was really cool. It was really cool. I really enjoyed that. And what else was really good? Obviously, the nature, seeing the monkeys, the proboscis monkeys, and the big monitor lizards, and just all of the birds and the hornbills and the eagles. It was difficult for me to capture everything. Obviously, you know, I had to use a little bit of stock footage here and there just to sort of show you what they look like up close. But being there in real life with your own eyes, using your friend's binoculars or using the zoom on your phone, you can really get really good views, especially the proboscis monkeys. They come right down to the front of the river edge. And we did see some crocodiles, but you know, they're hidden, and then you see them for a few minutes and then or a few seconds, and then they swim away. It was a shame. So let's go on to the cons, and I'll just keep this brief because there wasn't very many. The cons is just like the fact that you're not guaranteed to see the big three, and so we didn't see the big crocodiles, we didn't see pygmy elephants, and we didn't see orangutans. Now, other tours during our time here did see orangutans. Our boat just was unfortunately at the wrong place at the wrong time, because we're all just zigzagging up and down the river in different ways. So that was a shame, but that's not to say that that won't happen when you come here. If you come here, just be aware that, you know, it's not a guarantee. The other con was, and this was quite shocking, it got better today and last night on the afternoon cruise, but the first 2 days we were here, we couldn't believe how much plastic trash there is floating down the river, and that was really sad to see. And because of the flooding, which is the reason why the river's so high, and the reason why it was difficult to see orangutans and crocodiles and elephants, because the river's so high, it covers up a lot of the banks of the sides of the river, where normally it would be low, and exposing the river banks, exposing rocks, where crocodiles sunbathe, where elephants come and walk to drink. And because the river is flooded from upstream, it's brought a lot of trash with it. So that was really sad to be in the Borneo rainforest and seeing plastic bottles everywhere. So that was just be warned if you come here in rainy season. And I think that's the final con, is just it was probably the wrong time of year. I would come in a drier month, maybe come in March, April time, when the river's much lower, and again the riverbanks are more exposed and you've got more chances of seeing things. But that being said, everything else was great. It was well run, it was well organized, everything was on time, it was very punctual. I made some friends, I saw some beautiful animals, I had some great experiences in the jungle, and I think it was well worth it. So if you're interested in coming on a tour like this, to a place like this, I'll leave some information of where I'm staying and how I booked it in the description. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, give me a subscribe. It's free to do, Just click that button down there. Bosh, subscribed. And I'll see you in the next episode when we continue our tour of Borneo. I'm changing my original plans, which I didn't really want to do, but I'll get onto that in the next video. And I love you, and I'll see you soon.